SmashCut.
A technique in film where one scene abruptly cuts to another without transition.
Much like a typical conversation with me and my friends when discussing film, television, music, video games, or anything else that happens to come up. This is the idea behind the show, SmashCuts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of SmashCuts. I'm Rich Caban. With me is Jacqueline Pemick.
Hello.
And we are about a week after the first Superman just opened about a week ago, right? Like it's
Yes, we're recording this literally 7 days after the release.
yes. And we had some thoughts, and I thought, what better movie to return to the life of podcasting than to use the new Superman movie, which I'm sure has tons and tons of things to reveal in it. But I'm going to throw it to you and say, I'll save my comments for after. But what did you think of the film?
I liked it. I had a really great time. And you know what? I was just thinking about this yesterday when we said that we were going to record. That you and I have a bit of Superman movie history together
Yes.
because we live in different states on opposite, north, south of the country. And we came together when Man of Steel first came out. And wasn't
Yeah.
that our first time that we got to hang out in person?
Yeah, that was the first time seeing each
Yeah,
other, and
with
first
you and
time.
your lovely wife Jen, who was
Yeah.
pregnant at the time.
Yes.
Oh my
If you
goodness.
think
I
about
was
it
like
now, pregnant at the time, and
crazy.
with a 10-year-old, yeah,
Yeah.
10-year-old right now.
Yes.
11, sorry,
Yes.
11, yeah.
So
Crazy.
Superman definitely is a core character of our friendship bond over the
Yes.
years.
Yeah, definitely.
First in-person meetup in the theater for Man of
I
Steel.
I
So
was thinking that too. I was like, oh, it's too bad that we couldn't have
I
seen this
know,
one
seeing
together,
this one
right?
together.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have been
We're much
fun.
further apart now.
Yes. But no, I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it was everything that it promised to be. I think that the overwhelming support online is fantastic. I think that some people might have a little more grace for some things than I do because I still had problems with it, and it wasn't anything huge or anything, but it was like there were certain times in the movie I was taken out of my love for the movie by an odd choice that was made in a moment or something like that. And I watched it a second time because I'm like, was it just me? Am I crazy? But I'm like, no, the same things that I noticed the first time that kind of in those moments took me out of it did the same thing the second time around.
Mm.
And that is not to say it's not good. I really still enjoyed it. I just am like, okay, maybe nobody else was bothered by some of those things, but tonally I thought it was great. It really felt, I think the phrase everybody is throwing around is completely correct. It's the most comic book movie that we have seen.
Yeah.
And it really did feel like Superman, and it really did feel like I loved being plopped into an ongoing situation of not having to see an origin again from the beginning and like re-explaining things or re-establishing things and already having metahumans out there and already having all of this stuff. I felt like that's the best way to do it. And I saw James Gunn talking about it and his experience saying, he's like, my first Superman comic, wasn't number 1. It was like issue 200 something, right? And it's like the first time you read any issue, it's usually in the middle of a story arc or when the character's been around for a while, and you just start. You just hop in, and you can always go backwards and you can always go forwards, but it really did feel like that was the right way to start it with this new universe. And really enjoyed it overall. Really had such a good time in the theater. I do want to point out the things that I was talking about with the certain scenes that kind of took me out of it. But before I dig into that, I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel about it?
So I only got to see it once,
Mm-hmm.
and I uh I loved it. I was very surprised. Well, first I'll say I was very I love the way it started. You know what the beginning reminded me of?
Mm,
When you open an issue of something you know how many times they've redone Superman in the
hmm.
comics, so they retell it. And you know how you first open and you have a writer who's creative that where they go, 1 million BC. This is they give you these little
Yes.
phrases with panels. It'll say it'll
Yeah.
say something. That opening crawl where they say 3 year what was it 300 years ago
Hmm.
there were gods and I
Right. It was all in threes. It was like
yeah,
I don't remember the exact
I don't remember the
numbers, but
exact.
yeah.
Yeah, it was all
Hmm.
threes, but what was great was it led to three this, three that, 3 years ago. But it was all but the way that it was written I could see how it would be written in the panels of the comic book. It
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
it would be like the first page with about 4 or 5 panels going down,
Yeah.
and then finally revealing Superman, the crash and Superman. So it's like it really opened up, and that's the thing too is what surprised me was how much we saw in the trailer, or even in like
Hmm.
the first moment that we see Superman is the first trailer that we saw,
Hmm.
with him crashing
Hmm.
down and then Crypto trying to wake him up. Um, I mean that whole sequence we had seen, and in a weird way, I was kind of like, I wish I hadn't seen it in a way because I know it was
Yeah.
something that to get excited about, but at the same time, I was like, oh, I wish I didn't know that this was happening. But
Hmm.
uh I loved the way it told the story in a
Mm.
way that marked a calendar in a way. And I heard that originally he was going to have calendar dates, where it was going to show you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but
Mm.
he didn't need to do that because I kind of felt that. I felt the time.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I loved about it was um uh the way that I felt like the world was integrated. One of my
Mm.
favorite scenes is Lois and Superman talking, and in the background you're seeing a superhero battle, and
Yes.
I,
That was
that's
so great.
that's what I've always wanted to see. I've always wanted that. I love
Yeah.
those moments in comics because they happen all the
He's like, they've
time.
got it. The Justice Gang's got it.
Yeah.
You know.
And it makes sense because then because sometimes you would watch when you're like Marvel, right? Let's say and I love Marvel movies. I'm not putting them down, but I'm saying the last Captain America, when you're watching it and something big is going down, like Red Hulk's attacking, you're saying to yourself, well, where's Superman? I mean, not Superman, but where are some of the
Right.
other
Where
heroes?
yeah, exactly. Like nobody has a TV or radio to hear
Yeah.
that this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I know why, obviously, and it would be kind of cool if they did, if they did kind of do quick cameos like that,
Hmm.
um, without having to have them through the whole show, the whole movie,
Yeah.
you know. But I loved that idea. So, eh, what's great about this too is the way that they're telling the story is very much a point of view of everybody in Metropolis is used to this. One
Hmm.
one of the ways that you saw that, and
Yes.
and spoilers, I forgot to mention that before anyone, I would say if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the movie, go see it because I think it's better
Yeah. It's
to
great.
to watch it rather than hear us talk about it. But um, uh, I think the way that it was presented, the way that we're introduced to all these other heroes is great. The only thing I was surprised about is that we didn't see more. I actually I felt a little greedy where I'm like, well, they supposedly there's tons and tons, right? So, where are the other ones, right? Because we saw a very
The other characters, the other Justice
oh, just
Gang member
other
who,
heroes because they
yeah, yeah,
mentioned that there's already the whole world has been living with this already. So
yeah,
I would think that there would have been more, but I understand why. We need to calm down and let them just introduce these. We don't want to overload it,
right,
But at
right.
the same time, it would have been nice just to see. They kind of did that when they had like little cameos, like what's his name? the guy has this television show, HBO show. What's his name?
Oh,
Um,
yeah, John Cena.
John Cena. Thank you.
Right, right, right.
When they had him there, that was perfect. Doing
Hmm.
those little interviews and stuff
I
like
was
that.
surprised that they didn't use the Pocket Dimension jail as a little more Easter eggy, unless people saw things that I didn't. I kind of was like, obviously we got Metamorpho, but
Yeah,
I was surprised that we didn't see a couple characters in the distance as like, like
like
the
Howard the
way that
Duck,
they did
right?
Howard the Duck.
Yeah,
Exactly right. Like that
yeah,
kind of thing would have made a lot of sense there. And so I
yeah. I
was
was
surprised
looking,
about that, but
but there was a spot where there are some Easter eggs. On the walls of when they're in the Justice, or what's going to end up when they're in the
the Hall of
Justice
Justice.
gangs. Yeah, the Hall of Justice. Apparently, I saw this on somebody's video. They were pausing the background, and
Yeah,
there is all of these heroes up there. There's a Silver Age Flash is up there
nice.
with the helmet. I forgot who the other ones were. There were a whole bunch. They were obscure. They weren't anybody really famous. Uh,
Mm.
but they were
No Martian
heroes that were real.
Manhunter, no, like,
No, no Martian Manhunter. They did have somebody up there that was similar, but I can't remember who it was. But you could probably find it
mm,
online because
yeah, I'll have to look that up.
it was really smart, the way they did that. So the Justice Gang is using uh their location is actually where there was a Justice League of sorts. So that's where that is coming from. Um, but I overall I liked it. Now I understand some of well, first I'll say that some people were throwing politics at this thing, and I understand the allegories they can see, but
Oh,
at the same time, I can you could do that to anything. I mean, so
yeah. I mean,
I just
this was a very clear Superman story that you could have
yeah,
read at any point in history in the comics. It's just we happen to be at a very tumultuous time with a lot of
yeah.
opinions.
Like I actually wondered if they were gonna
So,
do. There was a comic book where Superman. I forgot why this happened, but he renounced his American citizenship
mm,
of because he had gotten involved in a skirmish very similar to what happened here. And he was being questioned. He renounced his citizenship and replaced it with, I'm not Superman just for America. I'm Superman for the world. Was
yeah,
his attitude. Um, so I thought, okay, that seemed like a little nod to that. So I didn't
yeah,
get hung up on that. But a lot of people were hung up on a lot of different things, but it's like whatever. But the other thing, I really did deep dives online just to see what people thought.
yeah.
And I think it was James Gunn who said, similar to what you said. I thought it was brilliant that I forgot which writer told him that, a comic writer told him that, the reason that number two movies were every issue is a number two movie. It's like Empire Strikes Back. Every comic book is Empire Strikes Back, or it's like Two Towers. Like
Hmm.
they don't have to completely finish a story. What a second movie gets to do is it gets to come in, use the characters that we already saw that were established
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
first
You're
movie,
already invested.
tell a story, but then
Hmm.
you don't have to definitively end it because there's going to be another one.
Yeah,
So it's very much like that's why the number two movies are always the most popular in a way, and it's a good
that's
point,
interesting.
you know.
Hmm.
And this was a number two movie in a weird way. It really just. I know it sounds terrible and
It
phrasing.
sounds like a poop joke.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a perfect issue. Now
It was a perfect number two. Yeah.
yeah. Some of the things I bumped into. I don't know. I, I don't. I like. He's okay. The Superman is okay. I don't know
Oh,
what.
Corn Sweat. Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
was
I
great.
mean, he was great. Yeah, he's perfect for it, and he played it the way it's supposed to. I think in a weird way, like he was very much a jock, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And I didn't, maybe and not that I can relate to Superman anyway, but for some reason that like sometimes I didn't relate to his thinking in certain
Right.
ways.
It was
Um,
interesting because this is the first time we've really seen him played like that, as you mentioned. But it's
yeah,
also really, I think, the first time we've seen Lois Lane played as like quote unquote punk rock, which I guess is something that that actress brought to it and was like, I'm really playing her like she was like punk rock, you know, this, and I'm
yeah,
just like, and I guess James Gunn loved it, so they added it in, and I'm like, it did seem different for both of their characters, but not
yeah.
in a way that made me dislike them. It was different. It was not, it
And
was a
they're a
fresh take.
product of their time too, because when you think about it, they're with the comics that we read, they grew up in a different decade or a different
Yes,
time.
yes,
So they're more, these are more like not even Gen Xers. They're, I guess they're more millennials, right? I mean, they're of
yeah,
the age that they would be millennials.
yeah.
Um, because I'm a Gen Xer, so yeah, they're definitely not near me. They're much younger than I am. Um, so yeah, so that was interesting the way that was played. Um, I'm trying to think of the anything else that just other standout things that I loved. Getting to see Metamorpho. Just you can complain that well they didn't use his powers correctly, or he can't make elements like that, like with
Right, right, right. But
but it's
they
like whatever.
whatever. Yeah.
Uh, it's like I mean, there's a lot. He's creating the world of the superheroes. He can
Yeah,
decide what he wants to. Spider-Man didn't shoot webs out of his wrists. Like
right.
we were okay with that. So, but I loved Metamorpho, and then when I saw the actor who was playing him, I didn't realize who it was. But it's
Yeah,
the guy from Barry who he's always great in that show.
yeah.
And so he did a great job playing that. I thought Guy Gardner was perfect. What's his name?
Oh my God, Nathan Fillion was the
Yes.
star of the movie, as far as I'm
Oh,
concerned. He
he
was,
was great.
and I was worried. I've got to tell you, I was concerned, not because I didn't think he could do it, because obviously he's a fantastic actor, but it's like Guy Gardner is a very tough character to pull off
Yeah, he's a
because
jerk.
he's so over the top, and the
Hmm.
look is so over the top. Everything is so much about
Yeah,
him. And so it really would have been easy for that to throw the movie or to throw the dynamic. And it didn't. He was so perfect.
yeah.
It was so good.
And I've always hated Guy Gardner, even when I started reading back in the,
Yeah.
early, late 80s. I
Yeah.
remember when I first read Guy Gardner, I was like, I don't like this guy. So I always
No.
kind of, I would, he'd be in the team ups or he'd be in the big issues, but I never sought him out. And I was never much of a Green Lantern fan. I always think
Yeah.
they had too much power for me, like,
Right, right, right.
so I was, but I started to read Green Lantern when I think it was Jeff Johns started writing it, and it was
Hmm.
I liked everything he did. So, but I thought they did a great job with him. And then I have to be honest, Mr. Terrific is a character that I completely ignored in comic world. I'd seen him,
Yeah, I didn't know anything about him
yeah,
other than he was on the Arrowverse shows.
yeah.
But I didn't even that I didn't stick with very long, so
And I didn't know what his powers were, and it's funny the movie doesn't really explain it either. They don't really go into who he is
well,
or
isn't it?
how he has
He's
it.
just intelligent. He's just super intelligent. That's his power.
He created that, right? Like those spheres. Is
Yes.
that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's another
Um,
one of those just like I'm just super smart, man. And I
yeah,
guess he's maybe rich. I don't know, kind of in a Batman situation where maybe he has the funds to
to
do
do
things.
this.
But I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I feel like I saw that somewhere, but
Yeah.
I'm no Mr. Terrific expert.
So then one of my favorite things, and I forgot who said this. A commentator did mention this, but James Gunn does have a way with creating these characters, um, these little kid characters, I would call them, that you instantly love, like Groot,
Yeah.
um, and I want to say in Suicide Squad, you could not help but love, the what's his name, the shark, King,
Oh, King Shark?
yeah, King Shark, right? I mean, he
Yeah,
was one of my favorite
I
parts in
know.
Suicide Squad, and again with he did it again with crypto, and he did it with even the baby.
Yeah.
Crypto was like
I don't know how successful that baby was, but crypto I
the
agree with.
crypto. Yeah, I mean, I loved crypto in this because
Yes.
he was perfect. Like everything. That's somebody who's had a dog and knows exactly
Yes.
what a dog will do, especially when it's not listening or when
Yes.
like that. That to me
Well,
was all perfect.
it's literally, when they were writing this, James Gunn got a dog, what's his name? Uzo or something. And Crypto wasn't in the movie at that point, but this was a very bad dog that he got,
Yeah.
and literally inspired him to be like, oh my god, what if Superman, or what if he had superpowers? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and so they literally scanned his dog and turned it white. Like that is his
Oh,
his
how
his
funny.
complete personality and everything, just with extra superpowers and a white coat.
No, wait, was he? Because I'm about to ask a stupid question because this
No,
happened to me in another movie. Was Crypto not a real dog, or was he
no, Crypto was not a real dog. He was CG for sure. I
really?
mean, yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, it was great. I'm
Wow,
sure that, but no,
I was
they
fooled.
scanned.
I really, I got the first time I got fooled like this was when I first saw the trailer for that Harrison Ford movie, Call of the Wild.
Mm.
And I remember watching that trailer and saying, how did they get that dog to do all that stuff? And then I found out that the dog was CG. I was like, oh, I guess that's how they got.
Uh,
But
yeah.
Crypto, I didn't. I thought he was a real. I mean, I knew he couldn't fly. Obviously, I'm not a complete
Yeah,
idiot.
I
But
don't know if they had, I know, I
but,
don't know if they had like a real dog on set or something. They might have done
yeah,
that, but I don't think, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard that,
wow,
but it definitely was
yeah. That well, yeah, I mean, that was amazing.
yeah,
But
it was
yeah,
really well done.
yeah. No, I loved him, and I love the idea of why he has him. You find that out
Yes.
at the end,
Yes.
which is so great. But another line that I loved, and when I saw the movie, when I saw it, the line hit me pretty good. And then somebody else, another podcaster, mentioned it, and it's the line where he says, when Lois is like, "Why do you even care about this dog?" And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't. He's not a great dog. He's like, but he's alone and
Yeah,
he's
I
confused.
know.
Oh, that to
I
me,
know.
that says volumes
He's
about
so good.
who
Who he
Superman
is.
is. Yeah,
Exactly. That's the whole point. The one of the best parts of this film, with the through line of, being kind and not just limiting your kindness to who, like the stereotypical, like, be kind to your neighbors, which is
yeah,
also true, but, like, he saves a squirrel, he saves another dog, he's doing this for everyone, every
yeah,
living being that he can, you know
yeah.
and that's really, I mean, it's so special to see.
Yeah. And even when he caught the building, I heard some people complaining about that. Like, well, what about the people in there? But the town was already it I to me,
Evacuated, we're
they were
assuming it was
evacuated.
evacuated, yes,
Yeah. And
we're
also
assuming.
you also assume that everybody who's living in this city is used kind of like, the idea I've always had,
Yeah,
regular people living in a city like this, you
you're
obviously they're
accustomed.
still there. They're
Hmm.
there because they know what they have to do in order when these things go down. Otherwise, you would move. That's always
Yeah.
been my thinking. So yeah, so I really liked the way. Now, the other thing that I liked is I really liked Lex Luthor. I thought he was very interesting the way that this
Hmm.
guy portrayed him. The only thing
This
that I
guy,
was
this guy.
Nicholas Holt. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right? Well, it's funny because this is a kid that I loved. I watched this movie so many times. About a Boy. That was one of my
I
favorite
loved About a
movies.
Boy. So good. He was so brilliant in that and so
Yeah,
young. He
yeah.
was like 12 or something in that.
Yeah, he was really young, and then I liked him as Beast. I thought he was great.
Hmm.
When he took on that part. So when they first announced him, I wasn't sure. I was worried it was going to be like another, a too young Lex Luthor, like another Jesse Eisenberg,
Right.
situation. But he was perfect. He played it
Yeah.
perfectly. He got the nuances, even when I was confused at first when they first show him he's controlling the monster or what turns out to be, Ultraman. Um, I didn't get it at first what he was doing, and then it all made
Mm,
sense. So now,
hmm.
spoilers for everybody. Uh, you know, and as soon as it was revealed who Ultraman was, um, I immediately, and then the way it ended, I immediately said to myself, "This is the setup for Bizarro, isn't it?" You
Yeah,
know,
right.
because even the fact that he wasn't that smart, he's a clone, and he kind of, he
I was Can I
yeah,
say real quick? I was
yeah.
wondering if we were gonna see Henry Cavill under it as like a,
Oh my God.
oh, as not as a clone, but like as like from a pocket universe, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
sort of something. And then I realized, as I was like, it's good that they didn't, because if people thought that that was the send off for him, they would go insane,
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
rage. So I'm like, no, it's probably good. But I was kind of thinking that. I'm like, I wonder if we were gonna see him in this.
That would be pretty crazy. Yeah. Or
Hmm.
or if they even got what's his name, the kid from the TV show Smallville,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A former one. But no, I'm glad that they did it this way.
Me
Because
too. It was the right move.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So I really like I was really happy with a lot of the choices. So yeah, I would love to hear the things that you butt up against because I didn't have much. I didn't really nothing bothered me, so to speak. I kind of was just I kind of was taking a wait and see stance,
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
lot of it.
sure.
But
Yeah. And again, like that's why I really want to talk about all the good things first, because I don't want to just dive in and nitpick, because it really isn't even anything crazy, but it kind of happened throughout the film. But there was something else really good that I wanted to bring up, and that was the costuming and like the regular street clothes, like the Daily Planet clothes, things like that,
yeah,
where you really had that feel of, and even the music and just the way that they shot things, the colors that were being used and everything gave that beautiful, what was it, 78? Was that the Christopher Reeves
yeah, yeah,
Batman?
1978.
Or Batman, I say Superman.
Yeah,
That would be different. But I mean, even just down to the suit that he was wearing with the white shirt and like the pleated gray pant and everything looked so Chris Reeves, like
hmm
really. And even with Lois Lane, she had this like 70s kind of vibe with her vest and her little cuffed utility pant and
yeah.
her, whatever shoes those were,
Well,
little
she looked,
chunky
y-
loafers.
yeah, yeah, or even Doc Martens or whatever they were
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it makes
those are
sense,
Doc,
right?
because that's more punk rock. Yeah.
Because you're like, she shouldn't look like a runway model. She should look like somebody who's gonna
Yeah, no,
actually
it was
go out in the
perfect.
street and yeah, yeah. No,
Yes,
that
and
was
I
perfect.
really loved the dynamic of that interview that they did together, where she's like, "This is on the record," and he keeps fucking it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he should know better. And I think that's the best example of him in that jock mentality, almost like you were
hmm
talking about,
Yep.
and in how he was answering questions and what he was doing from his standpoint, and even how he got frustrated and
He would get
yelling,
angry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which
He's becoming like an angry husband almost, like one of those
yeah.
you get nervous, because
Mm-hmm.
because that was an interesting thing too, is the way that he would deal with his anger.
Yeah,
Um he would like kind of reset himself because that
yeah,
you've never seen it, you never see that in any of the superheroes. You never see them like
right.
having somebody
Lose
has an
it.
anger problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. No, I felt like, but it made him very human, and that it ties back into his speech at the end, which was a little cheesy but true. It's what is humanity, and it's we
hmm
all do make mistakes, and we all have to just move forward, and everyone, nobody's perfect. He's not perfect. Break my heart. One of the things that I think worked well for the movie, but I didn't like because it's made me uncomfortable, but that was the whole point. So it wasn't a failure, but I hated that his parents' message was one
Oh,
of destruction. You know what I mean? Like,
I
and
had
it's
a
perfect for the film.
I
It's
had a thought
perfect for
about
that.
that. I had a thought
Mm-hmm.
about that. Now I don't know. Again, this could just be me being inserting my ideas into a movie,
Mm.
but I started to wonder. and I thought, and this is too elaborate maybe, but I was like, could you imagine if that message was not from his parents, but from
Mm.
General Zod and
Ooh, yeah.
what's her name? Like I thought, like wow, that would be an interesting
That would be
twist. That
cool.
it turned out that that wasn't really
Mm-hmm.
a message from his father.
Yeah.
That it was actually because then you could bring Bradley Cooper into the movie again as Zod who was
Yeah.
captured, like because but also didn't Smallville do something like this? Um
I never watched Smallville.
oh, you never,
What's that?
okay. I remember there was a point where Terrence Stamp played Jor-El in Smallville. You only
Mm.
really heard his voice. You never saw him. And there was one point where he's arguing with Kal-El, because he had that kind of the same hall, the where he could talk with him.
Yeah.
And there
Fortress
was
of
a
Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude, yeah, I was gonna say hall. But there was and maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I remember that there was a point where Kal-El turned against them because he felt like he was suggesting that he should rule the people of Earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not so it wasn't an idea that hasn't been thrown around before.
No, I mean, it might have even been from a specific comic run. I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't read all the Superman, but all the Supermen. Ah,
Yeah.
Superman. I don't know. But
I think it
um
was in another one of the um retellings. I don't know which
yeah.
one. Uh but it definitely was in one of those.
It
Yeah.
was a good plot device. It genuinely was. But like, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, and when he adored that message, I loved the half of the message that he, spent his whole life listening to, and then the full circle moment where he's listening to his Earth parents, watching his Earth parents videos and stuff at the end is very, very, very sweet. But it's still, I don't know, it still kind of made me sad. And you know what though, that big projection room where all the videos were playing, it
Yeah.
made me think of the room in Flash Gordon where
Yeah.
where they're beaming memories onto the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Made me
And
think of
he's what's
that.
his
But
name is singing that. Even a song by the
yes,
Beatles. Yeah.
even a song by the Beatles.
But it's interesting though, because there is I mean, I don't know if it's a lesson, but there is always that, the longing for what you don't have, and that's where
Yeah.
he was kind of projecting onto his original parents. And
Yes.
because what was great was then when his real mom did call, it was very much like a real, like, oh, it's my gay mom,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they're completely being like regular parents, but then to to turn out for him to realize, especially when he went home after he was sick, and when he talked to his father about
Yeah.
everything, to realize that that's where that's where he comes from. That's his heart. That's
Yeah.
he didn't miss
Absolutely.
anything. Like
No,
that's
100%.
so because sometimes there's that illusion Shazam did it best, which was Captain Shazam was the worst. It was terrible what happened in the movie where he had this idealized version of who his mom was, and then when you see the real person, it turns
Mm.
out that he didn't get lost by accident. Like she kind of let him get
Mm-hmm.
lost, and it's like,
Yeah.
and that's a terrible. It's like a very similar realization.
Yeah.
Um, so, but I could see why someone would butt up against that. What did you think of? Um, like I was kind of surprised by the Russian roulette scene.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh, yeah. That was really shocking.
yeah, what they
That
what they
was like
did.
a, hey, we are not this is a bad guy here. like
Yeah,
like we are not pulling punches. Yeah, that was pretty intense
yeah,
for us to have that in a Superman film.
and I loved
Pretty
I loved the kaiju because that was like a
Yes,
great,
that was just so sweet. I
yeah, and
love
it
that.
it was a great two-issue thing, like a 2 or 3 page monster that you would have in a
Right.
comic that just
Yeah.
kind of is something that comes up in the
Love how
middle.
it started, super
Hmm.
tiny. I love how it grew. I am sorry, and I again loved how he was trying to save it, or
Yeah.
at least, dispose of it more, painlessly or whatever, however he says. But like,
Yeah.
still, he was on its side too.
Yeah. He wanted to put it in the
Ugh,
intergalactic zoo, which I want to know where
yeah,
that is,
something, right?
right? Because
Right.
obviously there is one. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
something.
that's gonna come up somewhere,
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Love the creature work in this. Not so much the baby. I didn't love baby Joey so
he was
much.
definitely
And
Groot, right? He was definitely baby Groot there for a little bit.
yeah. And I think more so than just the fact that he was there, because again, I think it was a great motivation. I think it was a great, story beat. But I'm holding him with one hand out of the Minecraft river of
Yeah.
of blocks. It was the cheese. It was the cheese factor.
Well, I
It
think
was
he
the
fit.
Flash
I mean,
running with babies. I didn't care for that scene so
I
much.
was trying
I
to
felt
figure
like it
out.
was too much.
I felt like he went under the water with that baby, and I'm
Right?
like, why
I'm
is that?
telling you, it didn't even feel. I'm like, that baby is dead.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was a little too much for me. But and also like the black hole thing. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The black
You got that
hole.
close to the black. You got that close to the black hole, and your breath saved you. I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just a little. That's not one
Well,
of the things
yeah,
that bothered me really.
I'm trying
But
to
but
remember what was because I know
well,
there was a lot.
the river went into a black hole,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
and and I don't know, it seemed, again, they were setting things up. Okay, so let me get into the couple of points that actually did pull me out. The Baby River was one that just, again, it was just a little cheese factor for me, but that's okay. It
Yeah.
still was fun and campy. I'm over it. But the other moments were really interesting because several of them happened really early on. And the first one was in his Fortress of Solitude, where he's being repaired by his robot, being repaired like he's a robot, but like,
Yeah.
he's having the sun blast on him, and the way that it turns white, and you can tell that it's a painful process, this healing that's going on inside of his body with the rays of the yellow sun. And they go into this slow-mo shot of him like puffing on his chest and screaming and all that, and there's something about that shot that made me uncomfortable. And it's like, I don't know, it was something about the slow-mo weirdness of it. I don't know why, but that was the first one. Then
Mhm.
you see him flying around, getting back into the fray, right? And the
Yeah.
way that they solidify the camera angle right on his face, and it's almost like a fisheye lens kind of
Hmm.
effect, the way that they do it. Number one, it looked kind of goofy to me. I got used to it, but like at the beginning, it looked kind of goofy. And can I just tell you, as an aside, he looked so much like Nathan Fillion or like Brendan Fraser had a baby or something.
It
I was
was a
like,
weird
why did
look.
they?
Yeah.
What, he really looked like Nathan Fillion. I'm like, Nathan Fillion's in this movie. He just looked
Yeah.
like a baby version of
Oh,
him.
that's funny. So it was when
It
he's
was
flying. I can't remember.
Yes, in the very beginning when he feels better and now he's flying
Yeah.
back to go back to the fight. Next time you see it, you'll see it.
Yeah,
When
because it was
it's a
really
certain
I
angle.
did think the flying was weird because I guess they were trying to do that he was flying so fast at one point that you
Yeah,
couldn't really see the background because
yeah.
it was very
It
close.
was cool. It was cool. Again, these are little stylistic things that for some reason took me out of the moment because
Yeah.
I was like, that looks weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Another one, another one at the Fortress of Solitude was when the engineer and everybody shows up, right? And they're
Hmm.
fighting the robots and everything. And she has this really cool ability where she can like basically do whatever she can think of. It's kind of like Green Lantern, but with mech, right? Or
Yeah.
nanotech. Um, and but there's a moment when more robots are coming and she turns around and does this weird flip where all of a sudden she's got her, like, she does a handstand basically, and then her
Oh,
arms
inverts
become her legs
herself.
and her head.
Yeah.
Yes, which I felt like, again, cool thing to do, but was so out of place in that moment that it really took me out. I'm like, why not if you're trying to show us that she can do that, that is a very cool thing to do. But
Yeah.
why wouldn't she be pinned down or have like some? It literally took her longer to do that and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
throw her little things than it would have been for her to just step forward and throw her little thing. You know what I mean? Like it didn't make tactical sense, and I felt like it looked strange because there was no reason for it. But again, if they had written it into the action
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, she had to get out of a tight spot or, you know, something like that, then that would have made a lot more sense. And the other part being, it didn't really set up her to use that skill in a meaningful way later either. So it was like, why did we just waste all the time and money on that special effect for it to look out of place, clunky, and not actually directly? You would think that if they're setting up that skill for some
Yeah.
reason, we're gonna see it later in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, she used all her nanotech and stuff, but she never did that again.
Do you think that was
So
like because it did look pretty cool, but it
yeah.
also could have been something that was where
Oh,
they were looking at it
yeah,
and said, "Hey, you know what? I feel like this needs more. Why don't we do this?" Right? Like it wasn't planned. Because you could do something
maybe,
like that where you just kind of replace what was already there.
maybe
And yeah, I wonder it because I could see what you're saying with that because it I
it
would
felt
think that that
clunky.
would lead to more cool things that she could do.
Right, right.
You
And
know?
it felt
Yeah.
clunky, it felt out of place, and I know that that's a very expensive scene. That's a very
Yeah.
expensive 2 seconds.
Hmm. Oh, I
So it
felt
seems
bad.
strange.
I mean, it was a strange. Is she a created character or she's in the comics as well? I don't.
She's in the comics. She's
She
part of the
is.
Authority, which is going to be one of the movies that he's working on.
Oh, are they from the Authority? They were Image, weren't they originally? Or am I
Oh, I
am
don't
I
know.
confusing that?
They do kind of have an image look to him. Her, especially in the comic books,
Yeah.
looks kind of like Void, where it's all that very that image character who's got the metallic silver all over her
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because I'm almost picturing that she was like that. I almost see her with Youngblood for some reason. I don't know why. You know
Yeah.
what I
Well, I
mean?
mean, I buy it. I believe it. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't
I
know
wonder if
because I
that
never read the
was.
Authority. I don't know. I didn't know who she was. I mean, I met her in this film.
Yeah, because I know that everything merged. Because I know what was it? Griffin was in. I was reading something. I'm like, how did he end up in here? You know that one character with the red mask.
So is Image and DC merged? Really?
Yeah, all the characters kind of ended up in the DC world. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know when that happened, but because I don't
That's
know if
interesting.
because even Image titles are part of DC's world. They're not their own. Except I don't
Huh.
know about Spawn though. That's the only thing I don't.
Mm.
Although Spawn's not a comic anymore, right? I think that's been done for a while.
Yeah,
If I'm not
I haven't
mistaken.
heard anything about new. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't collect anymore, but I really haven't heard anything. I
yeah.
do. It's
I
funny. I
try
don't
to
collect
keep up,
anymore, but I
but
still like follow a little bit of what's going on.
I know on
Like
YouTube
they're
they do a
redoing
cool
Witchblade
thing.
and stuff now, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
YouTube does this cool thing where some people are they don't post each frame of the comic, but they'll have images from the comic and they'll tell the story, kind of.
Yeah, like
Um,
hey, for those of you who just want to catch up,
yeah, yeah,
that's
because
cool.
sometimes I do want to read it, and sometimes there's just not enough time,
Yeah,
where to read everything. Because the other cool thing with I don't if you have Amazon or a Kindle or stuff like that, you get Comixology as part of that,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so there's so many comics that you could just read, rent or rent
yeah,
from their library or read.
yeah.
But doing that, you fall down a rabbit hole, and next
Oh
thing you know,
yeah.
you're like, I got to read this and this and this, and then
Uh-huh.
you don't
Uh-huh.
read
I
anything because
love
you.
I love putting on sometimes because I mean I watch all of these like Screen Crash and all the stuff that'll like go into the comics and stuff.
Hmm.
But then YouTube will just start playing something else that they think I will like and it ends up being like a 2 hour video that is somebody who's compiled all the history of this particular comic and like
Yeah.
explaining lore and stuff like that. I love it.
Oh, I
I'm
do
like I'll
too.
just fall asleep to that stuff.
Yeah,
But
me
I was
too.
gonna say
Yeah, yeah.
going
I don't
going
when
back
that
to a few.
before you
Oh,
go
go
right
ahead.
to Superman, I just happened to me with somebody did the whole history of the Batman the animated series, and
Mm,
I have to be honest, I did not know. I did not. I knew that things had changed, but I never knew why. Um, or I never noticed how different things had changed when when they redid the characters and when they called it The Adventures of Batman and Robin, and it was still in the time. But I don't know if you remember, the villains were a little different looking, like they had different colors, and it was because they changed animation studios.
Mm,
And then they decided, well, let's make it years later, and that's why at one point Dr. Freeze was just ahead,
yeah.
so I thought that was really interesting. So a lot of those
Very
documentaries.
interesting.
But anyway, I'm sorry, you were
No,
saying.
no, no. I was just going back to Superman, but
Yeah.
um, the other scenes that really kind of took me out of it were actually involving Ma and Pa Kent, and like I did not like the phone call where she's got like her hands down next to the phone and she's yelling at it. I'm like, really? Do we really think that that's happening? I mean, I don't know. It kind of felt insulting to me.
Well,
I don't know.
unfortunately, I live that reality,
Oh,
so
okay,
I
okay.
could
Then
see
maybe
that.
I just
Yeah, yeah. I can't tell you how many times I have to say, pick up the up. I'm just seeing your forehead.
Oh
I'm
my
only seeing your
God.
forehead right now. I swear to God, it,
Okay, okay, okay. So maybe that's just me because I was
it
like,
was
this seems
very
extreme.
real, very real. That whole
Okay,
sequence
okay.
was very real.
I guess I just haven't had that experience
Yeah.
myself. And then the other was when he was on the it's in the trail all the trailers and everything too, but when he is having this wonderful conversation with John, and he's telling him couldn't be more proud of him and all of that again, beautiful conversation, totally crying obviously, but then he does this like thriller dance move claw grab on his shoulders that looks so like he's just clamping down his mitts like a robot or like woof. I don't
Oh,
know.
you
It
mean
looks like
on
a
his
dance move or
on his dad?
something.
You mean that one?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I noticed that in the trailers. Yeah, I
And
know what
I'm
you're
like,
talking about.
what an awkward looking hug. It was so, I was like, it didn't look natural at
Yeah,
all. I mean, again, and it was like in the middle of this beautiful moment. I'm like,
yeah.
what are you doing
That's
with your
funny.
T-Rex arms?
I saw that in the trailer, and I thought something else was happening. Like
Yeah.
and it's funny you say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So anyway, again, like these are little moments. It's just I had to get them off my chest because I'm like, I can't be the only one, right? Like I can't be the only one who's like, what was that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
No,
again, still loved it. Still so thrilled about it, and I can't wait to see more. I love the
yeah,
direction that they're going, where everything is gonna have a finished script before they start
yeah.
filming and
Well,
have a
that's
unique perspective
and they
and
move up Supergirl for that reason, right? Because I forgot what the
yeah.
next movie was supposed to be, but
And they added
yeah.
Clayface
Oh, and they had a
because of
Clayface.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And they took off well, they didn't take off the Batman movie, but it is I think got pushed further back because the script wasn't ready yet. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. Please,
yeah,
I'd rather wait another year than have something rushed that wasn't ready.
yeah. And seeing Supergirl at the end, it was like, oh, really? That's how they're gonna play her? But then when they
Oh,
just did that
I'm so
one
excited.
when they did that one little line about how, the reason why she's going to different planets, because I thought they were just making her like a vapid kind of
Yeah, like just
like a
a
Paris Hilton or
punk.
something,
Hmm.
or a Kardashian. But then it turns out, when they say that she's doing that so she get drunk, and then the loss that she's had, so it made sense
Yes,
that she would feel like she has no purpose, especially since the whole
exactly.
reason she was supposed to come was to watch over this
Over him.
baby.
And by the
And
time she
yeah,
got there, he's an adult.
he's an
That's
adult. Yeah,
exactly right. So she's like, what is my purpose? I have no purpose. All my friends and family are dead, aside from this adult baby
yeah, yeah.
that I no longer need to protect because he can protect himself.
And
Um,
so I liked the setup of Lobo because I really didn't know how they were going to get him involved,
yeah,
because I heard he was going to be in Supergirl.
yeah.
Um, and finally, after what, did you get to see Minecraft yet?
No, no.
No? Jason Momoa, well, if you want to see a preview of Lobo, watch that.
Okay.
No, he was really good. I actually I just watched it. I watched Minecraft again at home. I really liked that. It's just a lot of fun. But I think finally Jason Momoa is going to play the part that he was born to play, which will be
Yes.
Lobo.
Well, and again, I saw James Gunn say this. Apparently, once he was announced as the new creative director for um, DC, he got a text from Jason Momoa that was just all caps "Lobo baby" and like a
Mhm.
thousand exclamation points.
Yeah,
Like he knew. He's
yeah.
like,
Oh, you could tell that he didn't want to be Aquaman. Even that last movie was painful. You know,
oh
the
my
last
god,
Aquaman movie.
yeah.
Um, so I'm glad. So then now the crazy thing is, so the sequel to Superman is actually not going to be in Supergirl, but it's actually going to be in season two of Peacemaker.
Yes,
Because I saw James Gunn talk about that too, how
yeah.
there's going to be a direct connect. He wouldn't say who you're going to see pop up, or if if Superman. I'm sure he will, um, but um, but
I
that's
mean,
going
I
to be
feel like
fun
it's
to
going to be
watch.
the Justice Gang because we already had Max Lord and Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner in
Yeah,
the season one, right?
yeah.
So,
Oh no,
I,
season
I
two, you mean? Yeah. Well, they showed them
oh
in the
yeah, yeah.
commercial. Yeah, and so we saw them in that first. So they're obviously going to be there, but I think there may be more cameos
Mm.
um, that we're going to
Well,
see,
good. There
and
should be.
yeah, and it'll be kind of cool if they
That's the
did.
fun.
Yeah, I one of my favorite things about there's this cartoon called Jurassic Camp, which what's great about it, and it's a much better cartoon than it sounds like it or it has any right to be. But it's really good.
I love those hidden gems.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's even it had another season where the kids are older, but the fact that it takes place in the middle of Jurassic World, and then as you go on through the seasons, now we're in the second Jurassic or the sequel, and you even get to the third one, and it's just
Hmm.
because it's not so much that you see those characters, but the world events or the things that happen on this show, so you see that growth. So I think Peacemaker will probably, you know, do a lot of that where whether it's happening at the same time or the aftermath, it'll be interesting,
Yeah.
to see how it's going to connect. And I'm excited for all of this stuff. Green Lantern, excited to see
Yes,
that,
Green Lantern Corps. That looks amazing, and apparently it's supposed to have like a True Detective kind of vibe to it.
Yeah,
That's what they were going for. And
that's
Mike
cool.
Flanagan is the one doing Clayface, which I mean, he's the one who does all those great horror, like body. It's going to be like a body horror, like
Yeah.
like
Wait,
situation.
is there already a trailer or a commercial for Green Lantern or anything? Or
No, Green Lantern. There's just that one still of Hal and John walking.
Oh, okay. You know what? I haven't seen it. I have to look that up because when
Yeah,
you
it's just
said
a
Nor,
production
you
photo.
you immediately reminded me of that. There is the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man movie that's coming out, or a TV show that's going to come out.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, and they did show the test footage from that, and it looks great. Like I did see some of that.
Oh,
Because
cool.
it's already filming, and I think it's gonna be on Amazon if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. I totally
So
forgot about that.
yeah. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, I'm excited about Green Lantern. And I hope I loved, we never got to talk about this show, but I absolutely loved The Penguin more than I loved the movie The Batman.
Oh, it was so good.
It
It
was
was
brilliant.
so brilliant. It was so brilliant.
It tells you it got a lot of Emmy nominations, including
It was so,
Christine Milioti. She got nominated
oh
too,
my
which
God.
I wouldn't be surprised if she wins because that was.
She was phenomenal.
Yeah, I've never seen her play a character like that, and
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it was great.
That
Yeah,
talk about better than it had any right to be. I mean, that was some epic television right there. That was so good.
yeah.
Like people who don't give two shits about heroes or Batman would still enjoy that show as
Oh
just
yeah,
like a standalone. You know what I mean? Like that
it's as
was
good.
so
It'll
good.
stand up to any Soprano season. Even better.
Exactly.
Because it was really great. And then I
Yeah.
I won't ruin it for anyone, but just the way that it just where it goes, and then how things or the way that they're kind of resolved, not resolved, but the way things come to fruition, I should say.
Yeah.
It was surprising, and it was. it was perfect for what the show was. Um,
Oh
so
my,
it,
her in that
yeah,
yellow dress.
oh
I
yeah,
have never thought someone looked more perfect. Like she looked so badass. She's got that amazing haircut.
yeah,
She's got the great makeup. She's got such a personality. Oh my God. To
yeah.
die for. That show is to die for. It's
Yeah,
so good.
this was the Batman animated series come to life in a way because even
Yes.
the look of it has that Art Deco
Yes.
style. You know, it had
Mm-hmm.
everything that that you wanted the stylized way of doing things. That and there's something about this that I don't know why I've tried to watch the Batman. I mean, I've watched it again, and I do like it, but this I don't know what holds me back. I'm not sure what it is.
Oh, I love that movie. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it. I like it a lot. I like it. I think it's better. It's really good. But for some reason, I'm still reserved on it. Maybe I'll feel
Yeah.
differently after the second one, but I don't know why. Because I kind of when Batman the first Christian Bale one came out, I kind of was the same way. I liked it, but
It
I
needs a
didn't
number
watch it.
two.
Yeah,
It needs a number two.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, I remember you and I were like, everyone and Jen were like, well, we got to see where Man of Steel, where the next sequel is to
I
Man of
do remember
Steel.
that because after Man of Steel, we were like, okay, and there has to be aftermath, right? Like there has to be a
Yeah,
reckoning for everything that just happened in this movie. Because if everything just happened in this movie and we don't deal with it, like
yeah, yeah,
then it's not good. And honestly, I do feel like that's a flaw of films. Like they can't rely on fixing it in the second half, or not
yeah,
the second half because that is okay, but like the second film. Um,
yeah.
I'm like, it needs to be a good standalone movie.
Yeah, it needs to work on its own. Like you can't just and that was, you know, uh, Man of Steel did not work. As much as I tried to like it. Even Batman
Yeah.
versus Superman. I saw it so many times. It was almost like how many times are you gonna watch this movie? It was like until I
I
like
liked Man
it.
of Steel. I like parts of all of them. I like parts of
Yes,
all
parts
of
of
them.
yes, yeah,
And I think that the casting was good in both of them too. But I mean, you can have the perfect cast if they don't have the perfect film. It doesn't matter,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I still don't think. I see Henry Cavill in other films, and I'm still kind of like iffy on him. I don't know what it is. Even in Mission Impossible, he was fine, but
Like you don't think he should have been Superman, or you just
I
don't, I'm
don't
not
think.
sure you're a fan of him in general.
Well, in general, I don't know. He hasn't gotten me. I haven't seen anything where I'm like I really think oh, he's great. I want to see his next film. But I was never a fan of him as Superman.
Did you
Be-
watch Witcher? I loved him
I
as
did. I
Witcher.
had
I
not.
thought he was so
No,
good.
I did hear that is good. I don't. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that. But I actually, you know what? No, I take that back. I did like him in Argyle. I thought he was good in that.
Oh,
Um,
oh, when he's playing Mishra.
yeah, I know. But yeah. Otherwise, I really didn't like him as Superman.
Oh, you know what else he was good in that I liked was The Man from Uncle. That was a good one.
Oh, was it? I
It's a
never
Guy
saw that
Ritchie
one.
film who's not my favorite actually, but this film did really well. It was him and Armie Hammer and somebody else before Armie Hammer was, you know,
Before he was, yeah, he
cast to
was
the wolves.
drummed out of Hollywood. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I guess he's coming back. I guess, it's been long enough.
yeah.
Uh he's getting roles now and he's done his penance for whatever.
I guess, yeah.
I guess. I don't
Um,
know.
but yeah, you saw the Hammer the documentary on him.
No.
No, oh, it's is it HBO? There's like this 4 or 5 part documentary, or maybe it's
Do
less.
we need that long?
Yeah,
Is
there was
there
a
that
lot.
much to tell?
There's a lot of it. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. They go into the family, and yeah,
Wow.
you could see where the cannibalism thing comes into to it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. I'm not gonna
Oh my
reiterate.
God.
Yeah, yeah. There's a whole bunch of
Oh my God. No, not
craziness.
not the Val part
Y-
Army Hammer.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. But I mean, I know that he also was originally going to be Batman in George Romero's, not George Romero, the guy who did
I'm like,
Mad Max.
what?
Yeah, sorry, not George Romero. I forgot the director's
Yeah,
name,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but he had his Superman or Justice League movie that he was going to make, which I'm always confused about because I can never get every time I read about it, they never explain if it's an animated film or if it was a live action film
Oh.
because they make it sound like they were going to do those motion capture things
Mm,
with it, and that's what they were making. But I can never get that straight because it seems like they filmed things for it or something. But
yeah.
yeah, but then it just they just cancel it. So I don't know. I'm no expert on that one. I'll have to we'll have to look up that for another time. Um, but
Interesting.
yeah,
Well, overall, Superman, loved it.
yes,
Great. Fantastic. Yes, it still has moments where it takes me out of it, but like, uh, so it's fine. It's
yeah,
great. It's
yeah.
so good.
I would love
There's
to see
still a
it
lot to
again.
love.
But yeah, I'd love to see it again. But it's so funny. We live in a time where there isn't enough time to see it again because by the time you have time to see it again, it's on VOD. Or it's been released.
Well,
You
I
know.
mean, honestly, if you don't see it again soon, we're gonna have to move on to Fantastic Four
Oh yes,
because that's the
yeah.
next big thing. I
I
can't
can't.
wait to see that too.
Yeah,
Oh, it looks so good.
I'm
I'm
very
trying
excited.
not to hype it in my mind so much because it's like I don't want to like, you go in and then even if it is still good, if it's not as good as you were thinking, then you get disappointed. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to just be like, yeah, no, it's gonna, I mean, if it's cool, it's cool. But I really think it
I
looks
like. Yeah,
cool.
I think it looks cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. And I enjoyed the Thunderbolt. Did you enjoy the Thunderbolts? I don't know if we ever talked
I
about that.
I don't know if I don't think we talked about it here, but definitely loved Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
loved it too.
Thunderbolts was honestly the best thing to come out of Marvel in a really long time. It was
Yeah,
so well done. The theme was great. The characterizations were great. There really was a lot of meat there. Again, some opportunities were missed with some of the supporting cast like Ghost and Taskmaster and things like that.
yeah,
But there were some things that might have been different, but overall, I mean, this was Yelena's movie and it
yeah.
was so good. And Bob was fantastic.
Oh, he was
Bill
great. Yeah.
Pullman's son. What is his name? What's his
That's who that is? Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Bill
funny.
Pullman's son, who's gonna be in Spaceballs 2 with his dad.
Oh,
The
how
search
funny.
for more money.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
We're getting another Spaceballs.
yeah, it's too bad that yeah,
Merchandising.
it's like it's kind of. I mean, I know John Candy's gone, and so is Joan Rivers, so obviously they're not coming back. But
No, but everybody else is. Not
yeah,
Dan Aykroyd. What is his name? Um, um,
Bill
oh my
Pullman,
God. No,
Rick
Honey, I Shrunk the
Moranis,
Kids. Rick Moranis is coming out
Rick
of
Moranis.
retirement for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's which is pretty cool. So. I
Super
just
cool.
showed that we just watched that movie a couple of months. Was it 2 or 3 months
Oh,
ago?
holds
The
up.
kids had
What a
never
great
seen it.
film.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What a
Um,
great film.
but yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely get together again for Fantastic Four, and
Fantastic
sure we'll have
Four.
a lot to say.
Yes.
That was one. I have to say that was
Yes.
one of my earliest uh comics that I bought because that was. I think I bought that because I used to watch the cartoon. And in the cartoon, you'd be too young for this, but they had replaced Johnny Storm with Robbie the Robot because
Right.
they were afraid of kids lighting themselves on fire. So they said we can't
Oh,
put, yeah, so they said we can't put a guy who turns on fire. So let's replace Johnny
that's
Storm with Robbie the
really
Robot.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So
That's really, yeah, wow. Okay, Robbie the Robot. Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so he
Interesting.
was he was a
I
member.
never really followed Fantastic Four, so I did have the first issue, like a reprint of the first issue, certainly not sitting on a gold mine or anything like that.
Yeah.
But so I had that, but I never like they just kind of appeared in other Marvel things that I was reading. So I know them and love them, but I don't really know them well enough to know what to expect outside
Yeah.
the general pop culture
Yeah, I just want to
knowledge.
see how it's all going to work, and then and that'll
With
lead us
Doctor
to Robert
Doom,
Downey Jr. Yeah, and we'll see what
with
happens.
Doctor Doom,
Yeah,
Doctor, give
yeah.
me the
So,
cure,
mm.
gotta. Anyways,
Yeah,
um,
it'll be fun. Yeah, I hope I'm still singing that when I leave the theater.
speaking of
Because
singing, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Because
no,
why?
no, no, I don't even. I had no ending. What?
Speaking of singing, a big shout out to K-pop Demon Hunters, free on Netflix if you are subscribed, because that I can't get those songs out of my head, and that was such a fun little surprise of a film. Just for anybody who doesn't mind animation and songs, it was really really cute.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
try and
love it.
watch
I've
that.
seen it multiple times.
Because I told the kids about your recommendation, and they had both been interested in it, but it just hadn't come up,
Yeah,
so yeah, we're definitely gonna watch that. We'll try,
it's so
hopefully
cute,
maybe this
so
weekend.
cute. Totally love it. What else? Are you watching anything, playing anything?
The only thing I was playing Indiana Jones for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and so so yeah, that was the last game I played, but I haven't I haven't jumped into anything. So right now
Mm.
I started drawing. I've been doing more drawing. That's about
Oh, that's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Mm, very
how about you?
nice.
Are you playing anything right now?
I am playing Claire Obscura Expedition 33, which is
Mouthful.
fantastic.
Yeah, I was gonna
A
say.
mouthful, yes,
Yeah.
but it's a really interesting concept. It's a French game where, I mean, we're speaking English, but um, one of the voice actors is actually um, Matt Murdock from the Netflix show. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh,
But
Daredevil. Yeah.
yes, no, I know. I'm thinking of the actor's name.
Oh, I can't help you there. Yeah. Yeah.
um, but Charlie Cox.
Oh, Charlie. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know.
Yes, but the concept is really interesting. So basically, like you're in this French town, and across the sea, you can see this giant, what looks like to be like a stone, statue of a woman, kind of with her knees up to her chest and her head down, like kind of holding her legs. And then once a year, she comes to life, and above her there's this big glowing number, and she changes the number down a number. So like if the number said 34, and then
Yeah.
at the beginning of the game it changes to 33, and then everyone who was 34 now like dissolves into oblivion.
You
So
mean
every
the
year,
age? Every you
yes,
mean the
everyone
oh,
who's
okay.
the age 34, exactly right. And apparently it started at 100. It just appeared. And at 100, anyone who was 100. And then the next year, it was 99, and anyone who was 99. And so, I mean, at first it didn't seem to make much of an effect, but it
Yeah.
keeps going until everybody's going to die. So there's no one older than 33
Oh
now,
wow.
in the game. And
Yeah.
so each year you're doing an expedition to go over there and try and stop her, and every year they try and get volunteers to go. And so this is the Expedition 33, and that's what you're on, to try and go into this land and stop what's happening. And obviously no one's been successful yet, but there's also nobody who's been able to return and tell people what's going on. So you're kind of
So, but
in the dark. It's
it's starting
interesting.
backwards, right? So it's 99. So if
Hmm.
you're, say you're 30, I guess there's no way to avoid it because you're going to meet
There's
up with
no
it at
way.
some point.
Exactly
Ah,
right.
okay. Oh, okay. Because I was thinking,
Exactly
well,
right.
people who don't, they're not going to give a shit if they're 90, 90, who gives? You
Right.
know what I mean? But that's interesting. You know, when you said it was a French game, there was a person I knew named Jean Paul who
Hmm.
this is the worst French well, this was his version of my impression of him was he would always say, "Oh, I do not know that. That's bullshit. Bullshit. I'm not gonna." So that's what I immediately pictured as soon as you said that. "Oh, I'm not gonna die. Bullshit. I'm not gonna let
Bullshit.
34. Bullshit. No way. Bullshit."
Yeah.
So I could.
Yeah. That's so funny.
But what?
But
So
no, it's
that's
very cool. It's
interesting
a
that
lot of
it takes
fun.
place. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to look. So that game just came out, or is that something that's been out for a while?
I think no, it's this year. It was just this year that it came out. I don't know when.
Wow. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
really beautiful, beautiful game.
the only other game I kind of went back to, but then I promptly walked away from again was I had been playing Death Stranding for a long time, when it
Oh
first came out.
yeah.
And so
Second one's coming out, right?
yeah, it's like well, I think it's coming out soon. But my favorite was Conan O'Brien does this thing called Clueless Gamer, where he
Mm-hmm.
has no idea the games he's about to play, and
Oh
another guy
no.
introduced it to him. he was playing Death Stranding, and it's so perfect because a lot of that game is you feel like you're just running errands. Like you're
Well,
going to different
yes.
places.
Yeah.
You played that game, right? Or did you ever try
No,
it?
but I know the type. You know what I mean?
Well, what's
I
funny
know the
about
type
this
of
is
game.
you have to know it's not like some games where you could just load up and then you walk around, you're fine. This game adds weight, just like the other game that we love did. What's the other game that oh my God, they had the big arm that you can look at, the Pip Boy.
Oh, Fallout.
Fallout, yes. You know how Fallout you it the weight does affect you. It's worse in this game because when you're walking and if you're overloaded, you literally will trip like Jerry Lewis. Like you're falling all over the place. And what's so great is Conan, the first time he's playing and the guy's falling, he's just laughing his ass off because it is funny looking. He looks drunk when he's walking, you know. You have to look for that online. It's
That's
Clueless Gamer.
hilarious.
But
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
but that part does make it frustrating to play, because you really have to, balance out what you're going to do and what you're going to carry when you're walking around.
Yeah,
Besides
that's
that,
funny.
anyway, I think we've smashed enough cuts for a
Yes.
pretty full episode. So we'll definitely be. I know we say this every time, and then 6 months later, or
I
a
know.
year later, but hopefully for Fantastic Four, we'll be able to
Yes,
connect
Fantastic
again
Four.
and
Absolutely. Lots of good
discuss.
stuff coming up.
Yeah,
And
oh,
so much more
definitely.
we missed that we can still chat about. I mean,
Oh
come
yeah,
on.
tons of TV
Penguin.
shows. Penguin.
Come on, Penguin.
Yeah, or that. What was that movie? I just watched the whole show of something Q, Department Q. Or
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
oh, you haven't seen that show? Oh wow,
Mm-mm. I know
yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned it, but I haven't
yeah.
seen it.
Or I'm almost finished with third season of Squid Games. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
good stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, Foundation, the new season
Oh,
is
that's right. Yeah.
starting up. We've got a new episode tonight to watch, actually.
Well, there you go. So, but otherwise, we'll definitely talk soon and
Yay!
have a good tomorrow, everybody.